All right. Day 4, officially, of the fast. 7:06 p.m. at on uh Saturday, February 4th, I'm guessing. Overall, like, other than dietary progress, not really much progress has been made. I do know that the first month is always the hardest. As you can see, I haven't started painting yet. Um and still quite a lot to do, but something interesting happened today. It was like uh my roommate's dad offered to help me fix the car and look at it, right? And originally we were looking at the car trying to find a quick fix solution. And well, of course, it didn't really work. But then one of my own old coworkers showed up. He came. I we used to carpool. It's like I used to carpool with him, like to and from work, and that was how I got to and from work without a car. Uh, but he came and like he needed some help, and he likes working on cars, so naturally he just jumped in and tried to diagnose the car problem. My roommate's dad left because I think we had mutually agreed that maybe just a mechanic should look at it. But then, like, my old coworker, he stayed behind and helped me take apart the car, and we actually found out that maybe the problem isn't as bad as we thought it was, which is actually amazing. And I was talking to him about it and telling him how much I got the car for, which was really cheap because they probably believed it was broken. Let's be honest. And he started to talk to me about how it might have been a blessing in disguise because it's a really nice car considering it just has some problems. I'll have to put a little work into it. But overall, I won't. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it, to be honest with you. But it was interesting that he said that because something that I initially believed to be like one of the worst things possible that could happen, like a car I waited so long to get goes down pretty much as soon as I drive it. Again, this is the second car this has happened, by the way. And got it insured, licensed up, all that. Second day I drove it, problems immediately. Still running. But if I kept driving it, I could have damaged the car permanently. And now we took apart the car a little bit. Now we took apart the car and we like stored the pieces somewhere else so we could work on it later, which is good. But I think that blessing in disguise thing is a little interesting because there's a lot of things that we would say is pretty damning, or just really hard to deal with. Something that could possibly just like make it seem like we lost all power, but the way that the way that God works is pretty interesting. It was like it made me realize. I kind of already realized once I had some time to think about it that maybe He wanted to keep me posted for a little bit longer, but He was definitely trying to get my attention for a while, as I've said before. And sometimes he has to do stuff like drastic stuff to actually get things to happen. But it might have been a blessing in disguise. It might actually be pretty easy to do, something I could do myself, and I could learn something along the way. I would still get what I needed, but I might have gotten something a little better just because, like, might have gotten something a little better even though it looked bad. The person who gave me the car probably thought that he gave me a car that was worth way more if it wasn't broken for not even a fraction of probably what it's worth. Which is really cool if you think about it. It got me thinking about how many other times stuff like that has happened throughout my life. Things that I originally thought were curses turned out to be blessings in the long run. You got me to certain places. And of course, nothing is ever perfect. But I think it's important to remember that, remember not to be hopeless, because I honestly believe that being hopeless is probably the worst thing you could possibly do if you lose all hope. I was like, even just a small shimmer of hope. And I understand some people think that having false hope is worse than no hope. But, I mean, or my bad, false hope is worse than having some hope. But what we need to really consider is that it's hope that drives us to actually move forward. If we're hopeless, we're not moving. We're sitting down. And it's one of those, you can't fail if you don't try type things, which I'm very familiar with that mentality. But it's a lot like how love works. It's like, it's better to have loved than to have never loved and lost, and to have never loved at all. Some people may disagree with that, but personally, I think there's some truth to that, and I feel like that goes for hope as well. Because like I said, it's that hope, it's that faith that actually gets us to continue moving. It's that hope that makes us refuse to believe that we are just cursed and that there really is nothing we can do about it. It's hope that makes us look at things in a different light, to realize that there are probably many different things in that situation that we could have done better. It's hope that drives us to learn lessons. But above all, I think one of the most important emotions that we have as humans, one of them, not the most important, of course, that varies from person to person, is hope. And I feel like that is what separates us from animals. It's a lot to think about. But I challenge, whoever's watching this, I challenge you to get out a piece of paper and a pen, anything, and just write down 10 things that you are grateful for. It could be anything, even something simple, like your pet being alive, or the fact that you didn't get run over by a car, or something like that. Then after that, go into the mirror. Just tell yourself that you love yourself. Even if you don't believe it now, you will believe it in time. And I think that's how everybody has to start when it comes to their self-improvement journey. Just stay hopeful. It's like when we lose hope, we might as well have already died. It's always important to notice that. And false hope is better than no hope at all. Because with false hope, we play it too safe. We don't move. We don't take risks. But with hope, we hope things will get better. And it's important to realize that hope without action is basically like being hopeless. It's delusional. So while you are being hopeful, it is also important to take action. And it's also important to note that a lot of times things have to get worse before they get better. Almost always things have to get worse before they get better. So, I think that's really all I have to say today. So, your assignment today: get a piece of paper, get a pen, find 10 things to be grateful for. If you can't find 10, find 5. If you can't find 5, find 3. The point is keep driving that hope. If you find out it's false hope at some point, yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's like a betrayal or a breakup. It's inevitable that you'll feel pain over it for sure. But depending on how you look at it, you can learn great lessons from it. You can learn how to just ask more questions. Always ask questions. Always be hopeful. And more importantly, always be faithful. God bless.